All right, guys, last part of week 4, module 2. This is the Google Classroom discussion board, just directions and steps. So follow the steps below and answer the discussion questions in the Google Classroom. Remember, you have to respond to 2 people, even if that means you like pop back in later in the week, later that day, and just check that you're responding. We're going to be using those as participation points pretty soon, so get used to like having that discussion. All right, so we see 2 photos here. The photo number 1 is fallen French soldiers. So these men here are French soldiers fighting in World War II. You can see that they are at Normandy. This is the beach at Normandy. And then photo 2 is US soldiers storming Normandy Beach. So they were in these duck boats. They were basically just like big floating platforms that had shallow sides and like a kind of a gate that flopped down onto the beach so they could run in and not get super wet. A lot of them actually still ran through the surf. This comes from George Racher. They are from his book World War II in Color. So there's some color here, not a whole lot because it's 1940s. But this was published by the National Historical Society, and these photos were taken on June 6th, 1944, and August 14th, 1944. So within that D-Day invasion time frame. Now you're going to answer these questions below, thinking about the information from the videos, from these photos, and sort of the culmination of these activities. You're going to write down 4 words that describe what you think World War II was like based on the photos and the videos that you've seen from Iwo Jima and the invasion at Normandy. So what are 4 things that you can describe these? It might be wet, cold, cramped, scary, uncertain. So you're thinking of 4 words to describe what you're seeing in these videos from a perspective of either a French soldier, an American soldier, or if you really want to stretch yourself, think about the German soldiers that were there on the beach as well. Question 10 is asking you what you think the fighting was like during World War II for the soldiers who fought in it. You're going to take 2 of the words that you just did here in step 1, and you're going to add some reasoning to support based on the videos that you've seen and again those photos. So fighting during World War I was. So you might say like World War I was scary because blah 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 blah, and it was uncertain because you never knew if the next gunshot was your last, something like that. This was demonstrated in the battles of Iwo Jima and the battle at the landing of Normandy by. So you're using examples again from those videos and from those images to support that it was uncertain and that it was dangerous, it was scary, that it was loud, that it was earth-shattering, that, I don't know, you choose your words, but you're demonstrating those 2 things by using evidence from the battles of Iwo Jima and the Battle of Normandy. Now, you're going to take this, you're going to copy and paste whatever you have here, and you're going to put it into that discussion question where you see the little question here. What do you think the fighting was like during World War II for the soldiers who fought in it? You're going to paste your answer into that box right underneath it. Or I think when you guys open it, because it's the student facing, there's like a little section you copy and paste into. Then you're going to look for 2 classmates. Again, maybe it's not immediate. You might have to circle back to it and do it. But you need to respond to 2 classmates using accountable talk stems. So I agree with Mr. Marsh when he said that the battle at Normandy was chaotic because thousands of men were storming the beach at the same time. I also appreciate you saying that Miss Graham, that it was scary because you never knew if you would die during the fight. And I would like to add that the Allies made that choice to send in wave after wave of men because they knew they had to beat the German enemy. So I've agreed with 2 people, Mr. Marsh and Miss Graham. It's okay if you don't disagree with people, but you need to be able to like come up with ways to appreciate something that they're saying and add to it. So I'd like to build on that by. Once you finish your Google discussion, You're going to move on to your mastery check. Same deal as always. You're going to log into Eduelastic, take today's mastery check. It's titled Week 4, Module 2. The big takeaways that you need from this lesson is that, like World War I, World War II soldiers experienced really grim outcomes. While they weren't actively forced into trenches, they were basically told, you're going to run off of this boat and you'll probably get killed. Or we're going to send you to an island that traditionally has been really aggressive against their enemies. So good luck and Godspeed to you. That fighting was really cruel. It was violent. It was dark, no matter what side you were fighting for. It really didn't matter if you were German or Japanese or French or American. War is war, and it's ugly and it's scary and nobody really wants it, but still it happens. The skill that you need to have gained from this is using evidence and reasoning to support your historical interpretations. So can you watch a film or look at images or read little blurbs and be able to use historical interpretations or understanding to apply your own opinions to that? Things you should have completed at this point is your Module 1. It should have already been turned in, and your mastery check. Today you should complete and turn in this document and complete your mastery check and make sure that you've answered that question and responded to your classmates in Google Classroom. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. We have office hours and mandatory tutoring. So if you need extra support, please reach out. Thanks, guys.